Okay, let's hope this actually goes. I'm in the garage, as you can see, and yeah, we're gonna try this out here. Not sure how, if the video quality it looks kind of ghosty. I think it's the lights behind me. Let me turn them off. That may be better. I don't know. We'll see. I hope everybody can see and hear me. As you can tell, I'm in the garage for once, finally, right? The uh, the Wi-Fi signal out here isn't the greatest, and I was going to connect to my phone, but I don't think I have great signal with it either. So I don't know. Y'all let me know if y'all are having issues, if I'm cutting in and out, having signal issues. Let me know. I am using my laptop today, so bear with me. I don't have the big pretty screens like I usually do. Uh, so things aren't quite as big. That's the point I was trying to make that I didn't finish. Uh, what have we got here? Okay, so not sure who's in here yet. Looks like I've got one person. How you doing, Pete? Can Pete let me know? Can you hear me? And can is the signal okay? Uh, uh, I hope you're doing well, Pete. Let's see. Uh, blurry. Let's see. It's got a little ghostly. It's like it's whited out, right? Okay, well, I don't think that's doing any better. I've got a light in front of me to try to give me a little bit better stuff here, but I don't think it's doing any good. Um, the what I'm seeing here isn't blurry, but it is whited out, too bright, and I'm not sure I can do anything about it. Uh, maybe laggy. Dang it. Well, that's not good. I didn't want it to be laggy. I am going to see if at all possible that I can get better signal on the phone. So bear with me. I'm probably going to lose you. Okay, I'm back. Uh, sorry about that. I'm pretty sure I'm back in now. I've got my regular setup. So, yeah. So, how's everybody doing now that, I'm 13 minutes in and, you know, just now getting everything back right? Remember, it's not a drill. I appreciate you hanging in there, Pete. Who else we got on here tonight? So Pete and anybody else. So every now and then, it's not a lot, but every now and then I will break the seal on a brand new bottle. Now I've had this bottle for a little bit. This is a single barrel proof rye. It is, you'll see it there, it's 133 proof. 133 proof. So this is going to be hot. I appreciate it, Pete. Been practicing live stream. Mr. California, as you called me. Yep. So this is a Hero Selection. I've had it. I probably told y'all when I got it, maybe a year ago, maybe longer. It was probably around Memorial Day last year, maybe. I don't know. It was chosen by Melvin Keebler. He's a Navy veteran on nuclear subs, and he is the SVP General Manager at Jack Daniel's Distillery. So interesting. I don't know. I'm imagining it's going to be hot. And with it being a rye is spicy. So, yeah. Hard liquor is too much for me. I'll be out for the night. I understand. I mean, y'all see how much I do. So, I don't do a whole lot myself. So, let's break the seal on this. I know this isn't James's liquor store, but still, they always come with the cool little dog tags. So one of them says Hero Selection, Jack Daniel's Hero Selection. The other one says chosen by Melvin Keebler 2024. I don't know how many years. Come from Barrel House 113. Bottling date 6/17/24. So I might have had it almost 2 years. Kirkland brands. You know, I want to try it. There's some people have said some good things about the Kirkland stuff. It's just Costco is in Louisville, and I don't go to Louisville that much. I mean, I go down there for the VA, and that's about it. And I don't like going in, but I choose to go there instead of, like, if I need to go to the emergency room and I can get myself somewhere, and I can get myself somewhere, I'm gonna go to Louisville, and it's about, the VA is 50 something miles for me, and the veteran VA will pay for me to, if it's an emergency, they will pay for me to go to a local emergency room. The problem comes with billing. There's a few things I have to do on my end, but the hospital can still mess it up. especially when it's a hospital I've dealt with before with my regular insurance. So they're going to try to bill my regular insurance. And what happens with that? I get billed for a copay. And if I go to the VA, I don't get billed for a copay and I don't have to do a bunch of calls. So, yeah. uh, so, you doing pretty good tonight, Sizzle? So, it's going to end up being a neck pour, as they call it. I don't know if there's such a thing. What I do know, or what I feel I've seen, is that the more room that you have in the bottle for the liquor to sort of expand, it softens it just a little bit. It changes the flavor profile just a little bit. And the neck pour is always, it can typically have a much harsher flavor. In all reality, it's just the first pours are going to have a harsher flavor. So in all reality, it's like best to pop the top and let it air out just a little bit. And sometimes you'll get a good deal. I'm doing well. I'm doing okay, Sizzle. Still having issues. We won't get into it here tonight, but I'm still having issues with my heart going ape shit with me, but that's okay. They've got me. They've got a Holter monitor on me, so they're monitoring it. So I scheduled an appointment. I went in on Tuesday. They let me fix this seat. I went in on Tuesday, and because my heart rate wasn't crazy, it was actually kind of low, but not low for me. So it was sitting around 74, 75 while I was in the doctor's office. So they acted like nothing was wrong. And so eventually I got, I tried to explain it to her, and I told her, I said, it might be normal for some people, but it's not normal for me. For my wife, a heart rate of 80 might be her normal deal, but it's not for me. So, yeah. Well, I appreciate that, Sizzle, man. I appreciate all of your support. It's and I try to do something halfway decent in here, but I am sure I fail most of the time. But it is what it is. So stop talking about my health and all, because that's not really what we're here for. Man, I really wanted to do this from the garage. I'll get it right. I'll get it right eventually. Uh, have y'all seen the new shallows, the stubby sockets from Tecton? Let's see, what is it? Inch, and they're showing it. They don't give me a size. They're showing it with a thin profile ratchet being an inch and 16 compared to their normal, which is 1.16 compared to 1.8. Let me show you what they got here. I don't know if y'all get the emails. Here you go. So now let me show you my email deal. Maybe I'm not giving you giving too much information here. It doesn't look like it. So there you go. There's the comparison. They look pretty good. I am a fan of Tecton, and I wouldn't mind trying these out. It's they say they're quarter to 11/32, and a quarter to 11/32 and 6 and 7 millimeter. And updated sets will be coming in the next few months. So there is that. Now let me bring it back here so we can see price. Let's see. So for $42, you can get a 6.11 piece socket set, 3/8 to 1 inch, extra shallow, $42. That's not a bad price. I would like to get them and compare them with my dual drive type sockets and see if you save room with one over the other. Let's see that trick. I could saw it somewhere on YouTube. No, I don't have any extra shallow sockets yet. I saw it somewhere on YouTube. Could use a set for sure. Metric, those would be nice to have. Bought 3 things from Tecton last month. They've had some pretty neat stuff. That driver handle is pretty nice. I'll eventually get it. Let's see what we got here. Do y'all see that? Y'all see my glass? Y'all don't judge me too harshly. I don't wash it. I figured the alcohol's gonna kill whatever's in it. But maybe I should wash it. And it might even affect the flavor in it. It is hot, but that's good. I'm surprised of the way it tastes. I'm surprised because to be a first pour out of that bottle, it's not bad at all, and it's 133 proof, and it doesn't have the hug that a 133 proof usually does. That takes your breath away deal. Maybe I just took too small of a sip. I don't know. It is hot though. And there goes my hiccups. Dadgummit. That doesn't usually happen with me, hiccups, but it is what it is. That's what I bought: the spanner handle and 2 long handled screwdrivers that have been discontinued. I like their discontinued stuff. I like looking at it anyway. I bought a little bit of it. I think when the what is it? I think when the new handles come out, I bought some of the old stuff, but I could be wrong. But talking about short stuff, I would like to compare that to my Snap-on low profile set, but my baby boy turned 24 yesterday, and I looked in his student account, Snap-on student account, and he had that in his cart, in his saved part, So I decided it was a good present. Um, Save him a little money, and I don't use it that I haven't used it a whole lot. And I've got so many different options for low profile that I'm not gonna miss it. Uh, and he wanted it, so you know, took him out yesterday. Took him to Texas Texas Roadhouse and fed him steak because that's what you do, you know, when your boys have birthdays, is you go feed them red meat. I took him to, I don't remember the name of it, and this could be the name of it here in Louisville, but you'll know what I'm talking about. I took him to Texas de Brazil like 2 years ago, and we were gluttons. We ate a lot. They're pretty good. If you want a fine steak, it's not the best place to go, but it is. All the meat's good. It's solid meat. It's all you can eat. Their salad bar is top notch. They've got like smoked salmon on it. I mean, it's good. And for like, I forget what it was back then. It was less than 60 per person, but and they brought around picanha and all kind of stuff. So if you've never tried one of those Brazilian steakhouses, it's cool. So and so you know how it works, just in case you ever go to one. When you go to the table, they give you one or two cards per person. I think it's one card, and one side's green, one side's red. When it's on green, the waiters are rotating around with whatever meat they have, and they'll stop at your table and ask you what you want. If it's on red, that means don't come to my table. So it's pretty awesome. If you go there hungry, something's wrong, or you've got a hole in your leg or something, because it can be a lot of food. And I would have liked to have took him there this year, but neither one of us want to go to Louisville, and um, I didn't make reservations. I was a little busy, so that's solid. It's got some kind of a taste at the back end that I can't put my finger on, and I'm not 100% sure I like it or not. You ever had that? Anyway, I have a partial set in my belt tensioner toolkit. Yep. Uh, I've got part of a belt tensioner kit, and then I've got a whole Matco one. And so yeah, I've got that stuff too. I let someone borrow it, and it took me a little while to get it back. So, the problem with me is if I don't get a tool back, I will forget that I loaned it out. And you know, I don't think people try to take your tools, but they're not usually real big at returning stuff on their own unless you mention it to them sometimes. So it took me a little while to get that back when I loaned it out. And I don't like loaning tools, but this was someone that I wanted to help them out. I couldn't physically go and help them out at that point, so I let them borrow my tools. Uh, haven't run into a situation where I absolutely need them. I understand. I haven't run into a ton either. I brought my son to the Texas Roadhouse on his birthday, 23rd. That's awesome. Me and him went yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. And the thing is, I told him happy birthday yesterday. And for some reason, I was thinking that maybe today was actually his birthday. But yep, today was actually his birthday. So I knew something was off, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. But hey, son, I know I told you earlier, but happy birthday. Love you, bud. That's a bad father, ain't it? Bad dad. Okay. Michelle and I went to a steakhouse for her birthday last Friday. Cool. Tell her I said happy birthday. Um, see, I have a Mac low profile socket set in metric. 9 millimeter to 19 has come in handy, bought them used. And that's the best way to buy them. I bought my Snap-on set used as well. Good to have you in here, Tool. Hope you're doing well. You didn't take Michelle. What, Texas Roadhouse isn't fancy? It takes forever for me to get my tools back. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to loan tools. And I know I've loaned stuff, and I don't have any idea where some of it is. There is a knife sharpener that I loaned out, and it's not just a knife sharpener. It was a Ken Onion uh, uh, electric knife sharpener. And it was like it has a belt on it, and you can change the belts on and put different grits on it and all this. Very nice deal. And if you learn how to use it, you can put a extremely sharp edge on your knife very fast. And I think I either loaned it or gave it away, but I can't remember for sure. And I've looked all over the house for it, looked all over the shop for it. I just can't find it. So I don't know. I don't know what happened to it. Um, I might have even gave it to my brother. I don't know, but I don't want to ask him because I don't know. Anyway, uh, Texas Rose House, less than a mile away from my house. That's always good. It's 35 minutes. Hmm, excuse me. It's 35 minutes from me. The Old Mill restaurant on the Dam in Austin, Texas. Sounds like a nice restaurant. So there's a restaurant now. I got to remember the name again. Um, dang it. There used English no old no. There used to be a restaurant, an old chain that doesn't exist anymore. Uh, that was sort of my first uh, nice restaurant to try. Steak and Ale. Steak and Ale was a very fancy place, um, and it was one of the first nice steakhouses I went to. And there was a fancy place in Birmingham called Baby Doe's. It was up on the top of Red Mountain, super fancy, but yeah, it was okay. Went there one year for prom, uh, but I didn't ever want to go back because it just wasn't that great. Steak and Ale though was a pretty nice restaurant. It was a chain restaurant, but the food was good. First place I ever had prime rib, and I become a prime rib junkie. Um, my late wife, she was of the mind that it tasted like roast beef, and if she wanted roast beef, that's what she would order. You know, if she wanted steak, she was going to get steak. Nah, uh, I don't think. Uh, I don't think she was looking at it quite the right way, but hey, to each their own. But have any of y'all ever heard of Steak and Ale? I don't know if it was just in the South or if they were all over the country. Um, I looked up what was some old restaurants. They got Sizzler up here. Sizzler was a cheap place. Ponderosa or Bonanza, that was a okay, but cheaper. Uh, I don't. They got some more on here. Don't really haven't really heard of. Like Mr. Steak, York Steakhouse, Victoria Station, Tad Steaks, Black Angus Steakhouse. I don't know. Haven't heard any of those. But anyway, yeah, see, y'all get to hear about all kind of stuff. Other than that, not a bad week. Didn't get stuff that I wanted to get done, but you know, that's par for the course nowadays. Uh, right now, I have barely over a month till graduation. As a matter of fact, by now, I'll have taken all of my tests and just waiting on grades to come back. And then, you know, the next week on Friday, go graduate. So graduation is on the 8th of May for me. Um, so it's coming out pretty fast. I've got roughly, I guess it's 4 weeks. Let me look. One, two, three, four. I guess I've got 5 weeks. So I've got 10 more classes or 10 more days that I have to drive down to Bowling Green. I should go down there and during my break in between one class and the other. So it's like I think I've told you before, I've got a break from like 10:15 until 1:50. I should go to the Corvette Museum and walk around and hang out, shouldn't I? Because, ooh, that hurt. Damn. I won't have much reason to go down to Bowling Green after that. And it's a 90 mile drive, but you know, the the dang Corvette Museum is I pass it every single time I go to school and come back home from school. Like I go almost right beside it. And I've been there a few times. I went there with my two boys back around 2010, 2011, 2012, something like that. And then I went with Dad in 2016. Me and him, so I moved here in 16. Roughly a month before that, maybe a little more. Well, it was a little more. Me and him, I met him in Alabama, and we both jumped on our motorcycles. We ran up here, and we spent 3 days looking for houses for me. And then we jumped on our motorcycles, went back home, and that's when we stopped at the Corvette Museum on my way back. I forget how many houses I looked at. I looked at like 6 or 7. And this is the first house I looked at. The second or third house I looked at was the one I actually wanted. I put in a bid on it. It was a 2-story ranch style brick house, a ranch style brick house with a basement. So it was a single story with a basement. It was on 3 acres. You know, pretty nice. It was pretty nice, but then again, it was an older house, so it was like from the 70s, maybe a little older, and it needed a little bit of work. The basement was leaking, so it needed that, and it needed updated because it probably hadn't been updated since it was new. I think it's had some shag carpet in it some places, but the bid on it, this was before house prices got crazy, but the bid on it got a little goofy, and I was like, no, I don't want it. Ended up spending less on this house than I did on that other one, and I think I got a better house, just not as much yard, maybe. The other house would have been worth more. It had more potential. It would have been worth more, and there was a bigger, like, you could actually put money into it and be worth more later. The house I've got now, it'll go up with, as things get higher and prices of houses get higher, but I can't do a whole lot of remodeling to make it worth more, other than keeping it up to date. And that's probably just going to make it worth what the market says houses of this size are worth. That one, because of the neighborhood it was in and all this stuff, it would have been a very nice house to own. I just wasn't. I didn't want to spend the money on it at the time. Now, I wish I would have. I don't have anything great to talk about as far as tools go. The Tecton thing was the only real thing I had. The whole goal was to do it in the garage and, be something a little different. But so how's everybody else's week been? And Sizzle, what are prices of gas in California? Because we're seeing, what was it? High 3s and low 4s right now here. And it's doing a bit of a up and down. I imagine it's going to be in the 4s, solid 4s when I go back to school, when I go to school tomorrow. I fill up on my way back from school every time. Well, $3.59 isn't horrible, T. I think it wasn't too far from that here. All of us are old enough that we've seen worse. I mean, in 07, Lord have mercy, it was rough. And the price of diesel was crazy. Even in 01 to 03, somewhere in there, I remember some pretty high gas prices in Colorado. I was a little surprised by it. I come back from Korea and the price of gas had went a little crazy. We were paying $4 a gallon then. And this was like somewhere around 2001, 2002. And I I wasn't doing, I didn't make a whole lot of money. I was still, yeah, I was making sergeant pay, and it was tough to fill up that pickup truck. And it was just the Ford 4.6. It was an early 4.6, but it kicked my butt back then. Uh, 667. That's what I was expecting. Well, I was thinking it might be worse than that. For premium, yeah, I was thinking it might be worse than that, but I I'm probably gonna have to rebudget for my motorcycle trip because the price of gas will be a little high in the United States, in most of the states I'll go through, but not crazy, crazy. Um, but I think it's going to be a little crazier in Canada. So I don't know if the price of gas in Alaska is lower. Let's see. Uh, Price of gas in Fairbanks. The current average is $4.59 and $5 for premium. So yeah, it's about the same as it is. Well, it's a little higher than it is here. A month ago, it was $3.57. So yeah, it looks like they're averaging just over $1 more than it is here, which is crazy. You would think they got all that oil infrastructure, it'd be cheaper. Uh, no, I was expecting worse. 359 in Wisconsin. Oh, yeah. And throughout the Midwest, from what I've seen, most of all the red states, typically gas is lower than blue states. And that's just, I'm not trying to say one thing or other. It's just that's what I've noticed. I don't like buying gas in Illinois because it's always higher there than it is in Indiana or in Missouri while I'm passing through. And I will try, if I do anything in Illinois, I will do a short stop. In other words, I will stop way before I need gas, but to get me into Missouri outside of St. Louis to get gas. So I might stop, and let's say I've got 100 miles left in the tank, or let's say I've got 150 miles left in the tank, but I'll go ahead and top it off and only pay for 1.5 gallons, 2 gallons of gas, as opposed to, getting further into Illinois, closer to East St. Louis, having to fill up or having to stop in St. Louis, which is not something I want to do. I do not like stopping in any major city for gas. Never have. I always try to plan my trips so that I stop outside of a major city. Uh, that what we did with the motorhome last year on the way to Indy 500. Yeah, it's just it can be. So I've got another reason why I don't want to buy gas in Illinois. It's because I don't want to support Illinois. I just don't want to support Illinois. And that may seem petty, but not only do they cost me more, but I don't want to support them either because, you know, you can't, they don't agree and they don't agree with constitutional carry. They don't. They're not a state that's reciprocal with a lot of other states on gun laws. They're very, very liberal on a lot of stuff, and I don't want to support them. So I'm going to take my tax money and spend it elsewhere if I can. But the biggest reason is price, because I'm a cheap ass. Oh, so let's see what else. Is there any cool new tools that y'all know about? And has anyone got their hands on the new Milwaukee uh, ratchets, battery powered ratchets? I want one. I don't want to spend the money. I thought about getting the older model because they seem to be coming down in price. The high speed is, I think it was at Home Depot for $100, and I kind of want one, but I'm kind of waiting right now. Waiting until I get, out of graduate college and figure out what I'm going to do with my life. So I found out, so for the people who have been following this and my whole school experience and everything, so if you don't know, I'm in a program it used to be called vocational rehab by the Army, by the VA. I think maybe that's still it. Maybe it's changed the name something. It's like Chapter 31 or something like that. So they pay for up to 4 years of college, or up to 48 months of college. How you doing, Josh? So part of that program is, well, so they're preparing you for another vocation. So they expect you to get a job when you get your diploma. And I was kind of unsure about how that works, but I'm not unsure about it anymore. My counselor told me that I'm supposed to. So for the next 60 days after I graduate, I am supposed to be using that time to put in applications and get another job. The VA will pay me for 2 months, which I don't care. I like that they pay me while I'm going to school, but the other, but I've got to get a job within 60 days of my graduation. And I don't know how that's going to work because I'm going on one small trip and one major trip, and I mean, it's roughly inside that, or right outside that 60-day window. And what is a job going to say to you when you go apply and you do your interview and they say, "Are you ready to work?" And I've already figured that I'm going to be honest with them, and I'm going to say, "Listen, I've got a big trip coming up. I am not going to be able to work from this date to this date," which is it's a considerable amount of time, and let the chips fall where they may. If I find a company that, or someone who actually agrees to that and says, "Hey, we're good with that," do what you got to do, and when you're through, you can start. That would be the place I would want to work. That would be a great place to work. On the flip side, how many places you gonna find like that? I don't know. What do y'all think? I mean, how many would you hire me? Let's say I was the best qualified candidate. but I couldn't start work for, let's say I got offered the job right before I went on the trip. I couldn't start working for a little over a month. Would you hire me? I don't know. And chances are, if I get offered a job, it won't be right before my trip. The way it'll roll, it'll probably end up being about 2 weeks, 3 weeks before I start my trip. So that's kind of even worse, you know. But it is what it is. Let's see. Uh, Avoid Crook County in Illinois. Yeah. That's Chicago, right? The Chicago area. I'll wait on your deal down there. We all got a pinch of pennies. Yeah, I'm eyeing them. Yeah, Pete, it's an expense though. Whew. If you get one, Ace has them. That'd be a good place to go. My Ace might have them. I'm not sure. My Ace Hardware is this weird. Um, it's Cox Smoke Shop or something. COX or something, and it's like two stores in one, and it's kind of weird. It's a hardware store, and then it's an Ace deal too. Hey, I'm eyeing the 1/4 inch ones. I am not sure about the 1/4 inch, and I'm not sure about it. Uh, so you just paid $3.59 in $3.29 in West Virginia. If you were asking, that's not bad, Josh. It's not bad at all. West Virginia, by God, I need to visit West Virginia this summer and do some riding in West Virginia. I am about hour and a half, 2 hours from the state line on 64. So I don't know. I forget what the town is. I actually took a trip one time, got rained on and everything. I just crossed the river or I crossed into West Virginia and got into the first town, got gas and turned around to say I rode in West Virginia because I've never been there. And this was early, not long after I moved here to Kentucky. The big box stores are not breaking off the deals much. Harbor Freight parking lot seems to be the best. I want to try their electric ratchet too. And maybe if I can get my shit in gear and start doing what I'm supposed to do, maybe I can pick up some more and try them. I've got some that I've tried, but they ain't worth a flip. So like the Dura Last or Dura something. It's not Dura Last, it's Dura something. Don't buy it. It ain't worth a flip. It will break on you in a heartbeat. I think Jeff has had good luck with his. It's the whole light aqua color and black. Yeah. But mine broke on something it should not have broke on. Let's see. Hey, Rob. How you doing, Rob? Hey, glad to see you here. Are you at home or you're on vacation? 517 was the highest I saw on the road trip near Chicago. 389 in Ohio, 439 in Indiana, and 370 in Milwaukee. Indiana, that was a little higher than I expected, but maybe that wasn't, maybe you got it in, maybe it was a more populated area or a place where they had higher taxes. Because it's usually not horrible in my area for Indiana, but I'm sure certain cities add on their own little bit. Uh, got my first Social Security check this month. I don't think I ever get a real job again. I understand. I've still got 8 years till I could file. I think it's 62, ain't it? Uh, yeah, I think it's 62, ain't it? Maybe 63. I don't remember. But it's not, you don't get full benefits, but it takes, I did the math, and it takes till you're in your, let's say you wait full age. The money you get between 62 and full age, even though full age is a significant amount of more, they don't equal out till you're in your late 70s, early 80s. And if you invest that money that you've gotten, you might not need to, they might not ever equal out. So if you do invest well in it, and I should be able to put all of mine up, every single bit of it, I should be able to put in some kind of investment, which I don't think you're able to put into like a Roth, any type of IRA, if you don't have income. It can't be retirement income, any type of retirement income, because like I don't pay. While I pay federal taxes on my retirement from the Army, I don't pay Social Security. I don't pay none of that. And I don't pay state taxes either. So there's that. 62. Yeah. See, first 13-hour trip over, had the convention this weekend. Okay. Went to Milwaukee. 62. 67 for me. So it's 67 for full retirement. It's 62 for me for partial. It's like, I don't know, is it 80% or 70%? But I don't know. 62, who knows how much time you have. My dad waited until he was 66 when he got his Social Security, so he does not get taxed. Yeah, that was my dad. So he waited till full retirement age, whatever it was. And then he still worked. He still had a job. He was hauling bulk liquids. So he was hauling, like, he would haul vinegar down to, was it McElhenry Foods down in wherever Tabasco's made, down in some little island in Louisiana, out in the middle of nowhere, and stuff like that. So he hauls stuff to what was it? Sweet Baby Ray's, the barbecue sauce. He would bring home cases of it, and sometimes he would bring home jugs of it that weren't in a official container. I'm not sure how that worked, but we had all the Sweet Baby Ray's we could use there for a while. It is what it is. All in all, this was solid. I taste bananas. That's what it is. There's a little bit of bananas on the back end of that. It's not my favorite by far. It's not something I would. It's one of my guaranteed go-tos. Like this is the bottle. If I can't buy any other bottle, this is the bottle I'm going to buy. It's not one of them, but it's good. It's solid. It's worth it. I can't tell you how much I spent on it. It was probably 50 something, $60, but it might have been more. I'm not sure. But if I clean it, Pete, I get rid of the flavor. uh, I guess I should clean it. It looks rough. Um, it is what it is. I love these little tulip glasses. I think they're called tulips. Maybe they're Glencairn. They're Glencairns. They're they give the whiskey a better flavor than a rocks glass. Don't make me explain it. I can't. It just I did it. I've got plenty of rocks glasses, and it's just better, especially these miniature Glencairns. And it's all I use. I don't use a full size one because I don't drink that much anyway. So, but yeah, uh, I would ask you. I forget how old you are, Pete. I would ask you, but I'm not going to. Let's see. Social Security retirement for someone who was born in 1971. Full retirement age is 67. 62 for reduced benefits, but it doesn't tell me. And I think it's 70%. It says 70%. If you delay it past 67, your benefit increases 8% every year until 70. But I mean, seriously, wait until 70. And here's the deal: it depends on. It also depends on your credits, right? So you earn X amount of credits for whatever and whatever. And I can't explain how it works, but I've got all mine, and I've had all my credits for, dang, I've had them since I retired from the Army. And I think it's 40 years worth of credits. So, but it's also based on something else too. Dang it. Let me look it up. So it's 40 credits. Okay. 40 credits, 10 years of work. You earn one credit for each $1,890. That's this year. And a maximum of 4 credits per year. Yeah, so I earned mine a long, long, long time ago. So, yeah. I don't know why did we get on Social Security. I mean, it's my fault. I did it. Anyway, yeah, you're going to be 53. Well, you're not much younger than me. You can probably retire at 62 too, if if you can. Um, and some the thing is, if you're doing something you love, why? If I'm doing something I love, when it comes that time, I'm probably going to keep working until at least until my wife's ready to retire, and then I will retire because I want to be able to enjoy life with her and us, you know, travel all over the place. The problem with retiring early is being able to afford the things that you wanted to do when you retired. And that's the problem. A buddy of mine, and this is a lot of the reasons I have the mindset I do. In 21, I think it was 21. Well, I had this real good friend. He was roughly 10 years older than me. And he always said, I'm going to work till the day before I die. He was retired lieutenant colonel from the army. He was my best friend. We were tight. Um, and in 2020, late 2020, he he told me they found cancer in his kidney, and he said, "But I'm gonna be okay. They're just gonna remove it, and I'm good." And in 21, he went in for the surgery. He had it removed. Surgery seemed to go well. He got real sick and jaundiced within the next day and a half, 2 days. And within about 3 or 4 days, he was gone. And he, it had spread to his liver somehow. And me and him had a lot of plans. We were going to do Route 66 together. We had this big trip planned out, and we never got to do it. We did get to do some riding together. I met him in Belgium. Me and him got our cuts together. We were in a club at the time, but it wasn't a normal MC. It was a military club of motorcycles. And you had to earn your patches, and but it wasn't like what a 1% or a you know uh, outlaw does. But you know, and we rode a pretty good bit in Belgium while we were living there. We rode out into France and you know Germany and all kind of stuff. Back here at home, he he lived with me a little while we were both stationed at Fort Campbell. We both were in Afghanistan at the same time. He was his job in Afghanistan was he was the dude in charge of making sure when someone big come in the country, everything was taken care of. And I forget what it's called. Pretty big job. Um, but he was at that particular place at that particular time. His job was equal opportunity. He was the division equal opportunity officer. And in all reality, by military standards, we were not supposed to fraternize. We weren't supposed to be friends, but we were good friends, and we helped each other through a lot of hard times. and we just close. And when he passed away, I just told myself I wasn't doing that. So I quit my job. I got everything straight and I quit my regular job within 4 or 5 months of him passing. And I'm going to live my life. I'm not going to put off all those things that I've always wanted to do, you know, because of whatever, you know. So that's it. That's what my philosophy is based off of. So while I don't have a ton of money, I had money when I was working and I made good money. And, but I don't have that anymore. So a lot of the parts I bought for my cars were bought while I was still working at GE as a supervisor. So I know y'all really wanted to hear that, but yeah, definitely have to keep working. You can earn up to 25,000 a year while on Social Security before being penalized, and after 70, unlimited. Yeah, that's what Dad did. I think it was 70, but Dad got to draw Social Security for 5 years. Let's see. I think he passed in 24. I think might have been 23. I'm kind of, and let's see. Where's my calendar? His birth month is September the 6th. So it's 1948. So 58, 68, 78, 88, 98, 08, 18. So 72 plus 4. So he was about 76, 77 when he passed. Somewhere around there. So he might have drew it for 7 freaking years, which is nothing. And I was telling my son the other day, I'm not doing that. And I don't want that for him. You know, I don't, because, you know, my grandfather had to depend on my grandfather and grandmothers. All my grandparents had to depend on the kindness of others, essentially, because they couldn't afford whatever. And mom and dad, you know, things were tight for them all of their life, and I don't want that to be me, but I also don't want to work till I can't work no more. So, you know, yeah. Dad was born in 47. Yeah, so both our dads are rough, you know, close to the same age. Um, and you still got your dad, don't you, Pete? And if you do, it's awesome. Man, love on them. Because when they're gone, they're gone. And you just you can't put a price on that time. Even though the time when that, oh, he did pass. Even though the time I stayed with them, I guess it was early 23. I stayed with him for a couple of months to get him back healthy. Even though that time was rough and he wasn't doing great, I'm so thankful that I was able to, you know. Because I spent so many years in the Army away from everybody, you know, getting to see my parents and everyone else once every 6 months, once a year, maybe, if I'm lucky. Yeah. Your dad, 54, and he's 72 years old. Yeah, so a lot of our dads are, you know, close in age. I'm the oldest, and it's just me and my brother. I turned I turned 7 a few months after he was born. So the difference is late August to late December between us. Sizzle, my dad served in World War II, was born in the 20s, lived to midnight. Wow. You were you the oldest kid, Sizzle? By your age, I don't think you were, unless your parents had you when they were a little older. But yeah, my wife, her dad is roughly my dad's age, and she's the baby, but she's about 4 months older than me. But anyway, youngest out of 4. That's what I was thinking. You were probably the youngest, but you never know. There, people from my neck of the woods had kids early. It was only the professionals, the people, with better upbringing, and I call it better, people who could afford to send their kids to college, stuff like that waited, you know. So most people from me, they start popping out babies in their late teens. Heck, I think my mama was 17, almost 18 when she had me. She was 17, and she would have been 18 about 3.5 months later, or 3 months later. She just had a birthday, or would have had a birthday in March of this month on the 21st, a little over a week ago. I tried to ignore that day, but with Facebook, you got reminders all over the place. Okay, just like always, I've been rambling and holding y'all up for quite some time, not counting the bit of time where everything was all messed up. I guess we've been in here hour 15, hour and 20 minutes. But if you go all the way back, it's been an hour and 25 minutes since I was supposed to start. Thank y'all for joining me. I really appreciate it. I will see y'all next week, and let's hope I have something to actually talk about next week instead of one tool from Tecton. We talked about Milwaukee just a little bit. But y'all have a great week, and I wish y'all the best, and I will see y'all again next weekend. Good night, everyone. Now, I can't cut this. I'm always searching for how to cut it off. Someone just come in. Sorry. Y'all take care.